lets it go from 14. Good as the jump shot falls.
Wow, risky shot there, size-wise, but the incredible skill that he possesses allows that one to go.
Some players have a hard time when they're giving up so many inches, but he doesn't.
A nice shot by Teague.
And Teague is just so calm and collected when he gets near the rim.
Now Prez. A look at his stats. He averages a bit over 8 points a game. Well, there was a concern that in the post-Thibodeau era, the Bulls defense would see a sharp decline. But they still played rugged, tough defense.
Well, if you have great individual defenders, you're still going to be a good defensive team. Yes, we talked about Tibbs and Bulls era. It was all about defense. This team is able to do both.
Young dishes to George. Left side, Turner. Good D by Lopez.
We know what he's capable of inside. That's a good shot for him. He's kicking himself that he couldn't get it to go.
Here's Prez. Drops it. In from 11 feet. Prez has got 8 points.
And really can't fault the D there. Prez just torching them with better offense.
Right side Teague. And the shot is long.
I love the anticipation defensively there to get into the perfect spot.
And stolen by Jeff Teague. The 19-foot shot. The shot is good. And so is his shooting tonight. 3 for 4. Looking at the last game for the Indiana Pacers, it was a loss to the Wizards in Washington.
Yeah, and that was a night where they just didn't seem to be the type of team that we've grown accustomed to seeing. I mean, it was more about them being individuals on the floor than the collective unit.
Everybody has a bad game once in a while, but they need to come together now and show that it was just a one-time thing.
Stuckey can't get it to go. Bulls have gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. Prez with the bucket.
How about he has yet to miss 4-4 to start.
Young against George. Pass to Young for 3. Chicago grabs the miss. Their last encounter was in Chicago.
And the last time these teams met, it was a walk in the park, and everybody got in on the act. Their bench was spectacular in that win.
And you can be sure they will be counting on their reserves to step up again in a big way. Well, he's doing what keeps them ahead, and he's been doing it all quarter, respecting the hot streak.
So the Pacers call timeout, their first of the game. Well, for the Pacers last season,
our defense has got to do a better job checking George. I want our best defender matched up with him.
Be a steal as a shot blocking, perimeter shooting big, and it was a best case scenario. If they could build on that, I think they have a chance to be one of the contenders in that Eastern Conference.
So Indiana ends up with a new group on the floor. Pacers trail by 4. And we're approaching about 3.5 minutes played in the first quarter. Ellis kicks to Brooks. Clock at 6. The feed now to Miles. And once again off the mark by Indiana. On the court right now, second quarter for the Bulls. Prez is in at the point. Portis is out there with Mirotic. And it's Young. And it's Felicio in at the 5. Roman the paint. The shot by George, no good. Now the Bulls with it. The 12-point lead, their biggest of the game. They're coming off that win against the Nets.
They just weren't challenged. I mean, nearly as much as they should have been in that game, at least when they had the ball.
Their offense came fairly easy to them out there. The D wasn't rushing them to do anything, and because of that, they made a lot of smart, calculated decisions that turned into easy points.
Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Thank you, Kevin. Well, Prez in their last game against the Nets put on a show. He ended up with 22 points, and that scoring outburst set a new season high for him in what became a great exhibition on his part. His teammates will tell you they were not surprised. They've been waiting waiting for him to have that kind of breakout effort. It's exciting for everyone, Kevin, to see if he follows it up.
Okay, Dave, thanks for revisiting what was an astounding performance.
Yeah, that's certainly one that we'll be talking about here for a long time.
He will remember that one for the rest of his life. Fred Hoiberg with the Bulls, still on his learning curve, coming from the college. Beautiful, beautiful.
And that's the classic 1-2 punch right there. I mean, nice steal, and then how about the elevation, Kevin, on the finish?
And, Greg, nothing spurs some quick offense like a great play defensively.
When your defense translates into offense, it's a beautiful thing.
And the replay, of course, presented by Kia. What a play. Mirotic, the pass to Prez. Turner comes with the double team. Turner with the steal. And Teague has it in the corner. And once again off the mark by Indiana.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
Here's Prez. Felicio kicks to Prez. Second shot opportunity, and that's off the glass and in.
Just like that.
Prez has got 4 points now in the quarter.
And it's great to see Prez in attack mode, just wanting to shoot the ball every time he's open.
Young with the ball. Working on Portis, and that one drops. Second quarter of play with almost 3 minutes gone. Now here's Prez. He's got 16. Young with the steal. Down low. Teague with the ball. Now guarded by Prez. High post shot. Here's Felicio, and fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two. That one on George. The Bulls have gone 2 for 2 in the game at the line.
Yeah, and over the course of the season.
And so a pretty lopsided.
Bring it in, guys. Hey, great work in the first half.
A flyover of downtown gives you a great perspective of our location as we welcome you back to Indianapolis. Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. We're seeing a tremendous game from Prez.
Always been a dynamic scorer, and we saw in that first half the entire repertoire on display.
Yeah, he did a nice job. He got some easy buckets, made some tough shots. He erupted in the first half of play.
Young and Turner up front. Teague and Stuckey are the guard tandem. And it's George in at the 3, the small forward. So that's the group out there for Indiana.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive.
Perez is a ridiculous finisher around the rim. Just so clever how he dices up the D.
Well, we know the NBA has always valued scorers, guys that can put the ball in the basket and get paid to do it and do it well and do it a lot. Do you think, Steve, that great defenders are still undervalued in this NBA?
Yeah, I think so. I think people don't understand from my day to now, because of the new rules, no hand checking, no touching. You have guys now that's a premium to be able to guard some of these guys. The way they're scoring the basketball, you need more guys that can defend at an elite level than I think you did in the past.
Harder to play good defense or good offense?
I think harder to play good defense right now because you can't touch. Guy coming at you, full speed, just a sleight of hand touch, it's a foul now.
So more effort, more hustle required on that end.
More team defensive minded right now, I think, as well.
And he drops it in from the low post.
You love the way Robin Lopez just goes after those missed shots. That's where he can do damage.
Teague kicks to Young. Outside, George. Back to Young. Indiana moving it around. Outside Teague, and the call will be against Prez. That is his first foul of the game. Bobby Portis is checked in for Chicago. Over a minute and a half into the third quarter of action.
And that makes it 0 for 3 coming out of the half. Not what they wanted or were expecting.
Young dishes to Butler. assist by Butler. Prez has got 5 points now this quarter.
He's been on target all night, and that's helped the whole team.
T kicks to Turner. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side.
That was their 4th attempt of this half. They finally got one to go down.
The Bulls leading by 23. And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, guys, we know Jimmy Butler made a big bet on himself back in 2014. He turned down the Bulls' 4-year, $44 million contract extension offer, and it paid off. After a breakthrough season, he signed a new contract, a max deal for 5 years and $95 million. He said of his decision, "I was nervous, I'm not going to lie to you, but everything I put myself through, I knew what I was capable of."
He's come a long way, David. Thank you.
Well, not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track.
And with the Bulls, there are so many great moments to choose from. But in your view, Steve, what do you think is the defining moment for this Bulls franchise?
From a plan standpoint, you can't help but think of when Michael Jordan hit the game-winning shot to win the finals over Byron Russell. First title over the Lakers is right up there, too. But that was the biggest for me.
And Chicago shooting at 51%. Really solid. So for Chicago right now, Mirotic at the power forward with Lopez in the middle. Young is out there with Prez, and it's Butler in at the 3. And the Pacers asking George to play more power forward last season. He was a little apprehensive, I think, Greg, initially, especially coming off that injury.
Yeah, and he ended up mostly guarding on the wing. They let C.J. Miles do the dirty work on the block, but the extra space afforded by their spread-out attack allowed him to flourish at the offensive end.
Outside Jefferson. George, that's a two-pointer. Here's Teague, and it's good. Ball through contact, hits the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, I love how Teague was able to shield off the defender and still go up and finish for a chance at the three-point play. And when you think of attack guards, ones who get into the lane at will, Jeff Teague certainly comes to mind. I mean, a great athlete, and it all starts for him with dribble penetration.
Turner with it. There's the pick. The pass to George. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And talking about Teague, once he blows by defenders, he can hurt you in a number of ways.
Yeah, I mean, a great drive and dish playmaker, owns a nice little teardrop. He's also gotten better at drawing contact and working himself to the line. Yeah, I like that they haven't lost their aggressiveness here in the second, despite being down.
Wasted no time on that one. 8 points for Nikola Mirotic.
Look how assured Mirotic is, pulling the trigger immediately.
Teague, the pass to Turner. Well, we've always known that height gives an advantage in basketball. A lot of teams now are concerned about things that we've never really talked about before. The length of hands, your arm span, your wingspan. That plays a role now with a lot of these teams and how they draft, how they make a roster.
Yeah, totally, Kevin, because on the defensive end, you have a lot of these guys that can switch. I remember playing against Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. They were so long out front. It helps and makes a difference.
But your arm span is long. That had to play a role.
Not bad.
Oh, it's good. I like it.
Not bad.
Yeah. The Bulls leading by 20. Prez with the ball. George picks him up. Mirotic gets the bucket.
The defense has no answer for Mirotic. Such a gifted player, especially when he has the ball near the hoop.
Stuckey dishes to George. Turner with the screen. For 3. And it's George again missing. Chicago's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the 4th. Prez kicks to Lopez. Passes it to Young. Good ball movement here by the Bulls. That shot wide open. Mirotic has got 10 points in just the second half.
And with Prez, you get it all. Outstanding passes to his guys who have clean looks at the basket.
Turner with a screen on Young. The 3 from George. Hands it from downtown. George has got a couple of three-pointers now in the 4th for the Pacers. Now here's Prez. Teague covering. And the relationship between a coach and his players, so critical, obviously, to a team's success. What qualities, Steve, in your mind make a great coach?
Well, I think the coach, first of all, has to be a great X's and O's, but then I think he has to have a great feel for different personalities. Then I think he has to build the right culture that fits everybody.
Catching up on the changes now for Indiana. Young's checked in for Turner. Robinson comes in for George. Ellis, he's checked in for Rodney Stuckey. And Brooks subbed in for Jeff T. Deflects the pass. It's stolen by Jefferson.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest. Just a total obliteration, if you will. You can safely say mission accomplished now for Chicago.
And this was one that never really was in doubt, I thought, an all-around dominant performance. And you kind of thought that maybe even going into the game.
Yeah, there was a sense of that, and man, they just pretty much blew them right out of the water. A clinic was put on display here today.
And so the hard work and effort paying off tonight, putting another win in the books. That'll be win number 27.
And not only are they on their way to winning this game, this also gives them a win in the season series. A fantastic show. And what an amazing all-around game it was for Preds.
What I really liked about his performance at the offensive end was that he wasn't pressing. He wasn't playing fast. There was a calmness to him. It was a smooth, steady game he played, and the results speak for themselves.
Well, guys, they came in here and really took charge from the opening tip. This is such a tough thing to do for a visiting team. This contest was played on their turn.
No intimidation factor at all. They felt like they were playing at home, and they showed it.
Young's shot is off. Brooks outside. Dishes to Young. Back to Brooks. Screen by Young. Off the pick. Brooks misses. Preds off the mark. And so Chicago takes this one.